it. Through a bit more wiring.
You can kind of make it into sort of a manual feeling, but somehow it just doesn't work. Shot am I, Dave? Not in your shot here?
Yeah. Oh, probably out there. That's a wide shot. No, you're not. You're tucked in.
say that to all the girls.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship live coverage from the Daybreaker Rally. And we are situated in the midpoint of Special Stage 5. You're going to see the live stream cars due to come through shortly, but a little bit more of a wait, BB, than we were originally expecting.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can probably get the bacon and eggs on. Unfortunately, Stage 4 had to be cancelled. Some stock on the road, so obviously the last thing we want is any sort of issues where we're putting our competitors at risk. So that stage has been downgraded to touring, so they are just slightly delaying the start of this special Stage 5. This stage will run, so don't worry, bear with us. We will have live coverage before long. The 00 cars have gone past. Not too far away, we should see the 0 car, which is 5-time New Zealand Rally champion Richard Mason, and his son Caleb doing his first rally. And then not far behind that, we will have the chasing pack, which will be led by Hayden Padden, and as you can see on screen, currently with a lead of 1:07.7 over Ben Hunt. Emma Gilmore sitting third, 1:31.3 back, so a fantastic start from Emma and a push up from where we've seen her so far this season. Zeal Jones sitting fourth, again another really impressive performance, and right on the heels of Emma Gilmore. Tim Reeves, our Australian visitor, in fifth. He's right in that battle too, so there's plenty to come. You'll notice though, there's a name missing from that list, Dale Budge.
Yeah, Robbie Stokes, the championship leader, unfortunately suffering issues on the opening stage of the day. Toured through the stage, managed to get going again, all sorts of problems, and he's dropped a lot of time. Unfortunately, that is going to have some significant championship implications for the Cantabrian, but is still going and still competing, but a long way behind.
Yeah, so after stage 3 they had a short service. It was more designed to allow the teams to remove the light pods from the car. Obviously the first 2 stages under the cover of darkness, but the Stokes Motorsport team will be working their backsides off. 21 and a half minutes behind, so the reality is a result is gone, but
Power stage points, surely.
Power stage points and rally finishing points, they're still available. It might be 4 or 5, but at the end of the year, 4 or 5 points might be very, very valuable. So at this stage, they're still in the rally. We haven't heard anything to the contrary.
It leaves 2 competitors essentially in the title battle as it stands, and Ben Hunt is tracking along really nicely, second place at the moment, doing a good job. He's obviously got a nice cushion there, best part of 42 seconds over Brendan Reeves. So Hunt will, that was the big concern obviously, is what impact Brendan Reeves' entry into this rally would have on the championship battle. For the moment the answer is very little. Power stage points obviously could come into play, but Ben with a handy cushion there, and he can do his part from this point on and make it still challenging for Hayden Padden, who's out in front. Geez, anything could happen though. The conditions are wet. You can see on the screen in the background there, rain is falling, and it's going to be a long day, a very early start for everyone, and fatigue could become a bit of a factor as the day drags on, BB.
Absolutely, even with that stage cancelled, still around 170 kilometres of special stages. That's still a huge day of rallying. Then you add, as you say, the conditions into it. It is wet. We've already seen our Rally Challenge 2-wheel drive leader Jared Parker also out with gearbox. Unfortunately, a split casing on the gearbox there, so that's day over for them, and unless they've got a spare, I don't think we'll see them at the power stage either. So that's a cruel blow, but that's just an example of what we can see, what can happen.
And that's what we were talking about with some of those battles, particularly in the categories where we don't have a stack of entries. For Pat Norris, that brings him right into the equation, doesn't it, championship wise?
Well, exactly. He can now. He's got a couple of that rally challenge, so it's your best 3 scores from the first 5 rounds. Now Pat's already got a couple of seconds and a third on the board, but he's now got the opportunity to take a full haul of points, 30 points.
Yep, that has implications for sure as we track towards the finale at Whangarei in a couple of months' time.
At the moment, Jared's got 2 firsts and a second because, of course, Darren Galbraith beat him at South Canterbury Rally earlier in the year as well. So there's a lot to play out there. Some really, really interesting results. Very different nature of rally. And, of course, we haven't even got into the... that special stage 4 was due to be the longest stage of the event to date at 26 kilometres. We've got 2 passes of the 37-kilometre Peepo Day stage and the 30-kilometre Ridge Road. And that Ridge Road, fantastic piece of road, but man, that has broken some hearts over the years of Daybreaker rallies.
Yeah, it certainly has. Featured in that list of the top 25 stages in New Zealand rallying that we did during the COVID interruptions.
Yes.
So an iconic stage that has played a significant role in the history of New Zealand rallying. That's our vantage point. Spectacular hairpin on this Ridge Road North. It has to be said there are 2 Ridge Roads as part of the itinerary for the weekend. So competitors coming down the hill as we see it towards us, and then that 180 degree turn away to the same direction they came in, but quite a bit of elevation change there. It doesn't look it as much on the screen, but the road definitely drops away, and there is big drop off to the right. So if cars can't get around there, we saw it last year. Peter Farrell, I think, got the car half off the edge of that drop, and there is a significant drop away below.
Just nosed over, didn't he? He was very, very lucky, but it's definitely one that you don't want to get wrong. I mean, theoretically, shouldn't be carrying that much speed. We've also got a little preview there from the service park, so we'll be able to cross through to Andy Martin there, which will be fantastic to be able to talk to the teams. And look at that, perfectly positioned too, Hedgie. Just doesn't block any of the rallying action.
It's like he's done this before.
Oh, I reckon.
Vault TV crew up early this morning, as was the entire field. 3 a.m. the alarm went off this morning.
Did notice that you were the last one through the shower this morning there, Dale Budge.
I tried to grab every second of additional sleep. I was first to bed too, I might point out. So that's a different vantage point from another of our cameras.
Look at those fantastic sponsor signs too. Of course, Brian Green Property Group, the principal sponsor. MRF Tyres, our control tyre supplier and tyre partner of the New Zealand Rally Championship. Also Omega Rental Cars, and it was a comfy drive up here in the Omega Rental Car this morning.
If you say so. The rental car did the job. Not sure about the driver. So this stage drove through it last year, and to the point where we're at, pretty narrow in parts, very tight and twisty. I did say to you it was a goat track. It definitely opens up a bit wider from the vantage point we're at through to the end of the stage, but technical and challenging stage, BB?
Yeah, I'd say it's still a little while till you'll get promoted to the job of writing stage descriptions for supplementary regulations. So it's just a fairly good shot there of the misty rain that's coming in, and the a little bit of fog around the area too. Nothing that's going to really impact the competitors in terms of fog. But
that shot we just had on the camera a moment ago, there's actually a seat that's there for as a vantage spot for members of the public to look at the view below. Well, unfortunately, we're not treated to that view today because we're covered in mist.
Yes, you can get a fairly good view of the end of your hand.
I'm sure it's lovely on a nice day.
Yes, beautiful part of the country, the rolling hillside. We're not too far from Tai Happy here. We are on the north side, so not quite where Fred Dagg would have grown up, but he was always a south of Tai Happy man. But about 10 minutes.
Gets a lot of love, Tai Happy.
Yes.
For the size of the town. It often features in Met Service weather forecasts. I'm always convinced that whoever's running Met Service must have grown up in Tai Happy or something.
Lovely little town,
It is, nice spot.
If it weren't for your gumboots, where would you be? Your gumboot capital of New Zealand, but it's a nice little spot as you're driving down the country to have a stop off, have a bit of a stretch of the legs, and enjoy yourself. Of course, we also need to give a big shout out to Cream Insurance, partner of the New Zealand Rally Championship. So we got a little bit sidetracked on how good the Omega rental car was there, and thankfully we
didn't need Cream Insurance on this occasion. Thankfully,
haven't had to call on the services of Cream Insurance, so they've got our back no matter what. Shouldn't be too far away.
Shouldn't be far away from seeing Richard Mason at least in the Zero car.
Yep.
So fairly significant couple of stages this morning when you think of that championship battle. Obviously, misfortune for Robbie Stokes and the Stokes Motorsport crew. It will severely dent their chances of picking up a maiden title. But also the impact that Brendan Reeves was going to have on this championship fight. I think there was a fair bit of expectation that he might be in those top two spots. I wonder whether there was an issue for him. There was one stage, I think there would have been the second stage of the day, where he dropped about a minute to Hayden and probably 20-30 seconds to most of his main rivals. So
yeah, there's also a 10-second time penalty in amongst that for a late clock-in, so potentially something being done on the road section. I guess we'll see. Also, not quite sure how comfortable Brendo is in the dark compared to other competitors.
He looked pretty sharp last night.
He did.
He was straight on the pace.
He was. He definitely was.
So at the moment, Ben Hunt with a nice little cushion over him. Battle for him at the moment in the rearview mirror is more Emma Gilmore and Zeal Jones. So, interesting situation with the championship. I mean, we say it's a two-horse race, but it only takes a drama for either of those two competitors, and all of a sudden a whole range of competitors find themselves in the championship battle.
Absolutely. Emma Gilmore for her struggles early in the year, Zeal Jones as he learns. One thing they've been is consistent.
They banked points. They were able to take a haul of points.
Absolutely, and that is what building championships is all about. So the Zero Car is yet to start this stage. We will obviously continue to update you as much as we can, but we'll just have a little run through some of the classes. Obviously, we've looked at the overall standings. If we go to the little NZRC two-wheel drives, the Fiestas, and it's Dylan Thompson. So he's reversed his little hoodoo of the night stages from Southern Lights. He holds a 4.6 second lead over Bryn Jones, so that's a strong start from Bryn. And of course, he took the class win here at Daybreaker Rally last year.
He was sort of handed that, though, to be fair. That was on the back of Dylan's mistake at Manfield, but feels like Bryn's very much on the pace so far this weekend, which is really encouraging.
Yeah, Jack Stokes sitting third. He's 30 seconds off the lead. His first visit to the North Island, and obviously the different nature of roads. So a little bit of learning to do there. And Tim Mackesy also learning that new car. So he's just over a minute off Thompson after 3 special stages. In the open two-wheel drive class, Dave Strong. Fairly comfortable lead there of almost 4 minutes already.
Willie Hawes, I think, was late to out of Parc Ferme this morning, was he not?
He was 9 minutes late, so that's a minute and a half of time penalty. So that's where half of that margin. Right on the pace that we expected to see of him. So Murray Percival actually taking some time out of him in special stage 3, which is a great performance from Murray, and great to see Murray having a cleaner run than we've seen him have so far this year. But unfortunately, he had some dramas last night on the super special stage and lost. So he ended up with a time that was 7 minutes slower than the fastest time. There's been a bit of discussion around that.
You might come back to that. Let's have a look at a couple more of the championship scenarios. Historics you got there?
Yeah, so Paul Fraser back in the lead. He has maintained that throughout the day, but he's picked up some time penalties as well, but he's 50 seconds ahead of Mike Cameron, so we might see if we can understand why Paul is a little bit late. Okay, so we're hearing that the delay could be as much as 20 minutes here, but we will bear with us. As I said, if you want to go and chuck the bacon and eggs on, or
I did see someone a few corners down the road on the back of a ute tucked away up a bit of a driveway with the old gas barbie on the back and starting to get breakfast ready.
Yeah.
They can feel free to send it up this way. Don't think Uber Eats have come this far.
No, you may struggle to find.
Struggle to get through the road closure too, to be fair.
Yes. So if we have a look then at the Rally Challenge, and it is Andrew Graves, his first visit to the North Island as a driver, 28.5 seconds ahead of Caleb McDonald. So another one making his North Island debut. Jay Pittham's probably slightly closer to home for him than we've seen so far this season, although we are on his home turf next up. He sits third. Big battle with James McDonald for third in the Rally Challenge and second in the Group A Challenge behind Graves. So 3.3 seconds separating that pairing. third and fourth. Gavin Feast, who was our overnight leader, he slipped back down into fifth, a minute 32.5 off the pace. Not a big fan of the night stuff, Gav. Then Phil Macquarie, returning to the championship, he's in sixth, just ahead of Julian Longley, and Amy Keeley sitting in eighth there. And of course the Rally Challenge two-wheel drive, just the one competitor still running, Pat Norris. So for him now, very much about driving to the finish. We'll run through some of the all-comers classes. So Adam Fisher currently leading Class A with a 35-second lead over Brian Terry. Cam Mackay, a little 1600 Starlet, so it's all about the Starlets, as we see.
Zero car in the stage, I'm led to believe. In fact, I think they're more than into the stage. So this will be Richard Mason.
Here comes.
So hopefully not too far, 10 minutes or so, we might see the Hyundai Rally 2 car of Hayden Padden.
For young Caleb in the passenger seat there, of course that car left-hand drive, so he would have had a very, very good little peek over the
the
drop there.
Can't underestimate how big a drop that is.
Not the biggest drop we've seen on this rally. We caught up with Glenn Goldring, who's here
I
spectating.
did see that, yes, he's still...
Not quite as big as the drop that Jordan Grant found last year. That was a frightening accident.
Yeah, there's a bit of a shot away. So this is approaching the hairpin. This is up a little bit, a couple of corners further up the road. Direction in which the cars are coming in. So that'll give you a little bit of an idea of the drop. There you can see some of the standing water, a few puddles.
It's not quite as wet as we saw in the back half of this event last year.
Oh, no, there was a lot of water that came down in the afternoon at Daybreaker last year.
But we've been here since 5:30 this morning, and it's been fairly persistent.
Certainly has. Yep. Jacket's a bit sod from a couple of little excursions out of the van.
Yes. It's Ben Harding leading Class C. He's 18 seconds up on Jason Weld, and that's 180B. Brendan Campbell on the Starlet. So the Starlet's fairly well represented across the classes in the all-comers rally. Greg Brown sitting in fourth, just having got in front of Bruce Herbert. So probably not quite the start Herbie wanted, but again, one of the ones with the eyes that aren't quite as young as they used to be. So they tend to stand out on the stalks fairly well in the dark stuff. Jeff Argyle taking the stage win, but Hayden McKenzie currently the leader in Class D for all comers. He's 7.3 seconds ahead of Argyle. Timmy Smith sitting third, 10 seconds behind Argyle. And Carl Robinson not too far behind, 20 seconds. So plenty still to play out in that class. Brad Stewart leading Paul Tulloch in Class E. Chris Ballas, the third entrant in that class, unfortunately retired in special stage number 3, which is the most current stage we have. So that's a bit of a rundown of the results and where we are at. Hopefully we are not too far away from having things get underway.
So after this, off to service and Taihape. And then the first run through that Peep O'Day stage you talk about, 37 kilometre long test, getting underway at 9:04. First run through Macbeth, 9:57. We'll be there for the afternoon live stream. Second run through that, which doubles as the power stage.
And just, I mean, we're talking about it off air, how important that power stage is going to be. Those bonus points through the back half of the championship, where it's going to, it could well come down to those power stage points and those day points at the International Rally of Whangarei.
Absolutely. So won't be too far away from seeing the first car on the road. Hayden Padden will be scheduled to come through first. Number 1 on the car, Hyundai Rally 2 car. So his first event in that this year. Ran the AP4 car that Brendan Reeves is piloting this weekend at the South Island rounds, first 3 rounds of our championship. It rain doesn't look like it's going to ease up anytime soon. Well and truly set in. Misty kind of rain, not super heavy, but definitely well set in. So Hayden Padden with the stage record through here, 8 minutes 35.1. That was set last year. Dylan Thompson, quickest of the two-wheel drives last year, 9 minutes 17.5. So we're talking about those average speeds. The average speed through here for Hayden, 71 kilometres an hour. And if you go to the South Island events, they were all up around the 120, 130 mark, weren't they?
Yeah, 110, 100, between 100 and 120 at the majority of stages. Some of the faster ones a little bit more than that. So it's still, still the hold-up being that they are waiting for these cars to tour through to the stage before they start. Special stage 5. That's purely on safety. What we don't want is a couple of cars running through and then a big long gap in the field. So once we've got a steady stream of cars arrived at the start, of course, the organisers have tracking on every car, and so they have all the information at hand to make the best decisions in the interests of safety, because at the end of the day, that is the number one priority when it comes to rallying and what we do. A lot of things inside and outside of the car that's been done over the years. The structural safety of the car, with not only the roll cages but the design of the seats and the harnesses and the way that they all integrate together, as well as then the personal safety gear, the likes of the fireproof overalls and underwear, the gloves, the boots. Also, a lot of development in the last sort of 15-20 years with not only the helmets but the head and neck restraints, and they really work in well with the head restraint seats and all that. They really all work together as a package. Where we've, in the last few years, we've seen some very, very frightening accidents. Like we talked about that Jordan Grant Glenn Goldrin crash here last year, where they ended up some 100 metres down a bank. Yeah,
that was. I mean, you'd see the in-car of that and realise how dangerous that could have been, and both competitors able to safely exit the car and
turn up at the pub that night for a beer even.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of people relieved to see them last year, but there's also the rally safe tracking system that is used right through from the New Zealand Championship level, from club rallies in New Zealand right through the National Championship level and now at the World Rally Championship as well. The ability to communicate any need for assistance back to headquarters within a matter of seconds.
So being told Hayden Padden is in the stage. The stage is live. We are underway.
So we reckon we're about halfway through the stage. So I reckon we're maybe 3-4 minutes into here. Through the goat tracks.
Well, I was accurate with my goat tracks because I saw some goats.
You really do clutch at straws, don't you, Budge?
I'm telling you, it's a goat track further up there. I drove it last year.
So we do have a split point before they arrive to us at 3.65 kilometres, so we will be tracking that. Again, another of the features of the rally safe system is the ability to relay split times quickly and easily, which just gives us a fantastic indication. And now Brendan Reeves into the stage as well, so we'll wait we should not be too far away from seeing Hyundai i20. We suspect it'll be the Rally 2 car for everything going, all things being equal, but it's rally.
So good morning so far for Hayden Padden. As we've come to expect the last few years, he's barely put a foot wrong when it comes to the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. Good morning too, though, for Ben Hunt, who is effectively championship leader in terms of live standings. Came into the round 1 point behind Robbie Stokes, but we know Robbie has dropped a stack of time and will not feature on the podium this round after being so consistent through the first 3 rounds of the championship.
So we still struggled to get a really accurate sort of idea of what happened with Robbie. We know it happened pretty well off the start of special stage number 2, the first stage this morning. Of course, the super special stage around the Central Trust Arena.
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
Yes, last night.
So I reckon we can't be too far away from seeing this Hyundai or hearing this Hyundai approach us.
It's crazy to think, these guys left Palmerston North damn near 4 hours ago.
Crazy, isn't it?
Oh, beautiful work, Dan. Nice and clean now.
Challenging day for everyone, these conditions.
Yeah, shout out to the we've got the nice cosy dry, and I'll emphasise the word dry, commentary booth in the front of the Volt TV mobile.
It's chilly, it's wet, it's cold outside, and the camera crew are braving the elements to get us these pictures.
Not only the camera people, but the fantastic work of the volunteer marshals, the block marshals, the timing crews, all the road closure officials, and everyone that's out. And hey, this is not the weather that anyone wants to see. It always makes it a little bit pleasant. It's Ross Hyde. He's out to get some snaps. Apparently, he had the bacon and eggs on the barbie in the back of the car too. So.
Did he? He could have fed the backs a wee bit, just quietly.
Maybe a rally car we can hear.
I think we can see a car. Here we go.
There's Hayden Patton and Jared Hudson. Jared's 50th rally. Nicely done.
Beautifully done from Patton.
Throws that car into the preceding left-hander. I mean, he's noticeably more aggressive on turn, and we might actually get a little bit of a shot of him going away too. How does this? Solid morning's work. He'll get through to the service and tyre happy just down the road. There's a few kilometres of this stage left as it winds its way down the hill.
Yeah, another probably 2.5, 3 Ks down the bottom.
Yeah,
maybe even a touch more. 4.
Yeah, 4 and a bit K.
So now we wait for Brendan Reeves. And this is the AP4 Hyundai. So we've seen Hayden competing in this car up until this part of the championship.
So there's maybe something going on here. We haven't got a split time for Reeves, that is. Split time for Hunter, 15 seconds down, so not quite sure what exactly is going on, but that's definitely Brendan Reeves and Amy Hudson. Nice and tight, tucked in there from Brendo.
A little bit easier for these new generation cars to make their way around that hairpin. Be a bit more of a challenge for some of the competitors as we get further down the field.
Yeah, well, they've got the good hydraulic handbrakes with the diff unlockers, because without that diff unlocker, very, very tricky. It's not a corner you'd want to try and turn the car without the handbrake. So, without trying to get too technical, the production cars, the later of the production cars, had the electronic differentials. And you can use them in all sorts of conditions. These cars, the differentials are, I guess, toned down, you'd say, as we see Ben Hunt and Tony Rawston.
So he's definitely made some ground here compared to the gap between Patton and Reeves. This New Zealand Farmia Rally 2. We talk about a good morning for Patton. It's been a good morning for Hunt as well.
He's been a man on a mission, knowing what his job is, and using plenty of the road on the exit there was Ben. And, nicely done, and yeah, he's looking to cement that second place. That's an important one for him. See,
makes him effectively in control of the championship if he can hold and maintain this position throughout the day. He'll leave here with a margin of more than maximum points heading into the last two events of the year. Still plenty to play out. Hayden Paddon breathing down his neck.
So we'll bring you through the times as soon as we've got them. Be interesting. Paddon's time last year at 8 minute 35.1 as we see Emma Gilmore and Malcolm Reid, which is actually up on Hunt at the split.
Well, this has definitely been a bit of a renaissance from Emma. Daybreaker was really struggling to find her best speed for the first half of the year.
Had a little, had an opportunity to run at a dual rally sprint. Unfortunately, had a little tip over. So probably the initial thoughts and indications were that might have hampered her early start, but it's been quite the opposite. So gelling with new co-driver and Malcolm Reid, and the results really are coming. So Paddon's time in 8:22.9. So despite the conditions, some 12.2 seconds faster than last year.
Same car as last year too, so that is genuine improvement that we're seeing.
Potentially, last year I think was quite dry and gravelly. Obviously, the one thing with the wet is that a lot of that gravel sitting on the top layer sinks down into the road surface. So when you look at those shots, not a heap of loose gravel. There's definitely clear lines.
A little bit of a gap here. Zeal Jones should be the next car through. Definitely more of a gap. So Emma on the charge for sure, but this is well more than the minute gap.
Yeah, I suspect that this might be a case of, and we might see a little bit of this with the touring through and getting cars 2 minute gap, because Zeal's split time is actually 1.3 seconds up on Emma.
There you go.
To 3.65 kilometres. So we'll see what these stage times look at. The 10 kilometre stage, the split point is 3.7 kilometres in. A phenomenal amount of time that Paddon has taken out of 13.8 seconds out of Jones, who's second fastest in 3 kilometres. That is just out of this world. Should not be too far away, the Smith & Sons Skoda Fabia. The watch telling us there's a 50% chance of rain. I
Suspect it might be a little bit higher than that.
Yeah, don't know that that's necessarily what Jim Hickey would say. So we're hearing a 3 minute gap between Emma and Zeal Jones. And here he comes now. So
Smith & Sons Skoda Fabia R5.
Charlie Waverley on the notes.
That was my seat that I was telling you about with you before.
Yes. Just
When I'd lost the camera for a moment.
oh, no, it's still there for Zeal Jones as well. So all that good work to the split point, and I've gone down the drain.
Well, those conditions are challenging. Visibility not that clear, as you can see there. That's a view of 100 metres or so.
So next up should be Hayden McKenzie. He has, I believe, possibly a spin or something earlier in the stage.
There he is.
So the Albany Toyota Great to see him back out. Flings a little Yaris around, but had a few family issues to sort out on the other side of the world earlier this year, so great to have him back.
Should be, what, Andrew Graves next? No, Stewie Reid.
Stewie Reid, yeah. So, his split time 23.7 seconds. So it is Ben Hunt. Phenomenally, Hayden Patton has taken 40 seconds out of Ben Hunt, second fastest. We see Stuart Reid.
SR Automotive Mitsubishi Mirage AP4. It's got a little bit of MRF sign, I think, there. Might have been the
Roadside marker, I think.
yeah.
You can get a bit sensitive about that after Ari Pettigrew's efforts.
South Canterbury last year, he decided to take it for a trek through a stage for us.
So yeah, Ben Hunt second fastest through the stage. Then Emma Gilmore 6 seconds back from Hunt, and Brendan Reeves a further 3.9 seconds back from there.
So I wonder if there is a little bit of an ongoing issue with Reeves. He is dropping time. We expect, talent-wise, to be right in the mix there.
So Robbie Stokes should be next on the road, and the split times are looking good for Robbie. Obviously, a bit of anger.
Whatever the issue was earlier, looks like he's brushed it aside. Here he is. Stokes Motorsport Full Fiesta AP4.
Yeah, real shame for Robbie, and you know, in the case of what might it be. Nice and tidy through there. Flicks it into the hairpin, so important for him now just to make sure he's good to go when they get to the power stage, and of course be there at the finish and bank whatever points he can recover. Now, it's still a long day.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's encouraging to see him back on the pace, though. As we see, next car, that's Andrew Graves, and he seemed to be right up Stokes.
Not got a hand, so he's a little bit wider there. Backing up,
Trying to see him, there he is.
outside of the shot of our cameras there. Without the hydraulic handbrake, it becomes very tricky. So that'll be a few valuable seconds for the man they call Dougie. Zeel Jones slots in despite that stall a tenth of a second faster than Ben Hunt, so that's a really impressive performance.
Wow, that's awesome.
So that puts him up in front of Emma Gilmore by, get this, 1 whole second.
Well, great battle in those minor placings at the moment. It's Hayden Patton out front, but it's all on behind him.
So this will be Caleb McDonald. His first visit to the North Island, man, hasn't he been really impressive?
What an introduction too.
Absolutely.
3 a.m. wake-up call, some wet weather, some roads. You have to do a bit more steering than what you do on the South Island.
Yes, certainly the change of nature of the roads is very noticeable. And this one, probably the most winding and twisty, technical rally.
So hearing that Stokes actually triggered a hazard between the split point and the hairpin here, so obviously didn't hamper him too much, but...
No, waiting to see a time for Robbie.
There did look to be like a little bit of a reduced gap between Stokes and the following car.
Yes.
I don't understand what you're saying, though.
So is Jeff Argyle next? I'm just trying to remember the start order.
Yes, it will be. So the second of the non-championship cars running. Jeff, of course, done plenty of time in the National Championship, 2-time New Zealand Rally Championship outright, also 3 times an open class 4-wheel drive champion. Group A champion back in the day as well, so plenty of silverware on the, well, goldware I guess, on sitting in the Argyle Trophy cabinet. And this car won with plenty of pedigree too. It was debuted by Jeff as a brand new car, an Evo 7, back in 2002, I think. It went to Stumpy Holmes and then Mark Tapper, who infamously rear-ended a Japanese driver after the flying finish of the final stage at Rally New Zealand in, I think, 2004.
So we're just waiting for Jeff to come into shot.
Might be 2003. That then ended up with Andrew Hawkswood before making its way back to Jeff Argyle. So, some useless little trivia for you.
Brief history and time.
As we said, we are expecting potentially a few gaps in this stage as the cars make their way after touring through Special Stage 4. But a few more times coming through. So Hayden McKenzie through 6.7 seconds slower than Brendan Reeves in 6th, and Stuart Reid another 4.4 seconds back from there. So we're waiting to see those times of Stokes, and then Graves will be the next ones through, and we'll see obviously Graves coughing up a bit of time here at the hairpin. As we can hear a car approaching. That is Jeff Argyle, Hester on the drum. Local lads on their home event. Jeff back out rallying again. Using all the road available. He's paid the entry fee for the whole road, he might as well use it. So it's been very neat and tidy, this Jeffrey. And some time lost there for Robbie Stokes, so he's 10 seconds slower than Stuart Reid. So that early split time not converting.
A bit of a scrappy old day so far for the championship leader. Now just needs to focus on that power stage and taking as many points from that as possible. Make sure he gets to the end of the event. Potential for a high attrition rate here given the conditions, the challenging nature of these roads, the long day. You can hang in there, some of those points might come to you.
This is the next of our cars, Tim Smith, his first rally in the North Island as well. Yeah, the distinctive sound of the H6 Subaru Impreza, the 3-litre naturally aspirated car. He's Trevelyan co-driving for Timmy this weekend, and it's been pretty impressive. It sounds like Timmy using all the road. I know he's watched plenty of historic footage of this event and seen how it's done. Of course, the throwback livery to when Greg Graham was running the old Bruce when it was red. So, talk about bringing back the retro. So,
yeah, that is the theme for the weekend, of course. As we work our way through this field.
Should be James McDonald next, but that's got the very distinct sound of a boxer. That is Jay Pittams. So James McDonald was safe and sound through all the stages. So we'll try and he may just be out of order with the 2 and 3. But Jay Pittams and JP Vandermees.
Oh, just holds on. Don't want to be dropping wheels off the edge of the road there.
No, there's not a lot more room. Hearing maybe a 2-minute gap for Gavin Feast, so we'll try and keep on top of when cars are coming as quick as possible. It looks like James McDonald is after Jay Pittams on the road, then a 2-minute gap to Gavin Feast and then Phil Macquarie. So
Overall,
as it stands overall, I'll let you run through them, Budgie.
yeah, Hayden Padden leading the way, 1:48.2 seconds ahead of Ben Hunt in the Skoda. 2 minutes 16 back to Zeal Jones in third. Great result in the offing here for Zeal Jones, just holding off Emma Gilmore by a second. Great battle that for third and fourth. They've been hammer and tonga to each other all season, really. Brendan Reeves 2 minutes 40 adrift. So hopefully hear from the service park and find out what the story is with Reeves, whether he's just taking a little bit of time to adjust, or there might have been an issue that he's been dealing with this morning loop.
You know, it's easy to underestimate. Yeah, Paddon is, let's face it, Hayden Paddon operates at a world-class level. So, Robbie Stokes, Ben Hunt, Jack Hawkswood, Emma Gilmore, Zil Jones, they are all very, very, very good operators.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there was a little bit of underestimating of just how good operators they were with the announcement of that entry of Reeves.
Yeah, well, if you look at the times that we've seen from those chasing competitors, they're beating what Hayden was doing not that long ago. You know, Hayden continues to raise the bar. As we see James McDonald.
Josh Edwards co-driving and see how he approaches. Just keep it in nice and tidy.
Gently.
Bud's just expressing that
Start, sorry. Try not to make it too obvious that...
Yeah, I noticed you were trying to be subtle about it, so I thought I'd just dive you right in.
Yeah, thank you. Always rely on you for that. I don't think I'm going to be the only one yawning throughout the day today somehow.
No, I dare say we'll be tucked up in bed fairly early this evening. Normally a good chance after an event to maybe go and have a lemonade or two in town. But,
not this one for me. NZRC two-wheel drive. There we go. Dylan Thompson, 4.6 second lead over Bryn Jones. Jack Stokes, 30 seconds adrift in third to Mackesy in the new car as well. There is Kevin Feast.
And Hayward. So they were the overnight leaders in Rally Challenge. A little bit, dropped back a little bit this morning, but see how Gav takes the hairpin. Yeah. Nice and tidy, perhaps just a little bit. Yeah, lost a little bit of time in the mid corner.